Why is it important to identify your target audience? Coaches and consultants ask me all the time, should I keep my audience broad or do I need to narrow down? And what if I pick the wrong niche? Am I stuck? Can I serve multiple audiences at once? Well, these are questions that can make or break your business. Because here's the reality. If you don't get this right, your marketing could actually work against you. In this episode, we're going to tackle why it's so important to identify your target audience and the surprising questions that you need to answer first. Let's dive right in. So it's very common for me to hear somebody say, well, my service can help everyone, so my marketing should target everyone. And yet, how many clients are they helping? They're not helping very many clients. So this is definitely a myth. Keep watching. Myth number 2, if I keep my audience broad, I'll get more clients. So it's a very similar belief. It's like, okay, you've got all these potential clients, and if you narrow it down, isn't that going to limit me? So if I can help this type of client and this one and this one and this one and this one, then eventually I'll have a lot of clients. Won't that mean more? The reality is that'll actually mean less clients. Okay, so let's look at myth number 3 and then we'll explain why these are. I'll figure out my audience later. Right now, I just need clients. I get it. You just want to make ends meet, and so you're willing to take clients from anywhere. But hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll realize that this process isn't as hard as you're thinking it is. The sooner that you can hone in on your dream clients and on your target audience, the more that they're going to be lining up to work with you, and the more you're going to enjoy your work. So let me throw out some big words, okay? There's demographics and there's psychographics. What does that mean? So knowing your target audience is more than just the demographic. They're male and female, their age, where they live. But the psychographics is more what they're thinking. Okay, so I don't usually think about that word psychographics, but I think about what problems do they face? What challenges do they have? What goals do they have? So where are they in their business and what are they trying to accomplish? So business might not relate to you, but in their life, like what obstacles do they have? And when they go to ChatGPT or they go to YouTube, what are they typing in? What questions are they typing in to try and fix their situation? When you can answer those questions and know what they're typing in, it makes the game so easy. So then the question of, well, what if I pick the wrong niche? Do I get stuck? Well, the great thing is you can search and sift through all the different questions that people are asking, and you know who they are. You know a lot of details about them by their situation, what they're typing in and what they need help with. So you get to pick and choose, like, okay, this person is looking for this type of help. Would I enjoy that type of help? What would it look like? Have I helped anyone with that situation before? Okay, what about this person? What about this person? So this really is your opportunity to think about, what are my dream clients? Of all the people that I have helped, who have I enjoyed working with the most? What problem did they have, or what solution did I provide for them? And you can search and find questions that match that person's scenario. So you don't have to worry about getting stuck in a niche. You want to go into a niche that you love already. Can I serve multiple audiences at once? Well, the answer is kind of yes, but in the beginning, I wouldn't do it. It's just going to dilute things. When we build channels for our clients on YouTube, meaning we do the filming, the editing and whatnot, before we do any of the filming, we really hone in on the strategy. And I use a tree analogy. So when we're looking at all these different questions, I talk about these leaves on a tree. Each leaf represents a question. Well, we compare all the leaves on one branch to all the leaves on another branch. And we decide, even though there might be multiple audiences that eventually we want to dominate or we want to rank at the top of, we need to pick one. What's the branch we want to focus on first? Because if you dilute your efforts across too many branches, it's going to take much, much longer. Instead of taking weeks or a couple of months, it might take years before you dominate that branch. Do I need to choose a target audience before I start creating content? The answer is yes, and here's why. Okay, in the past, you could create content and then optimize that content. You could do things to it, such as keywords and whatever, to get it to rank. That doesn't work anymore. It hasn't worked for about a decade. So now you have to do the strategy first. So we have to find the questions that your target audience is asking, and then we know what content to create. So in order to know what content to create, you need to know what questions they're asking, and to know what questions they're asking, you need to know who your target audience is. So now that you know how important it is, I want to teach you about authority marketing and what authority marketing is and how you can do it. I've created another episode, I'll link to it right there. It's called What is Authority Marketing? That is the perfect next step for you. Now that you understand how important it is to identify your target audience, you want to do it the right way and build authority. So when these people find you, they see you as the authority and they hire you. So I'll see you there.